everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Super Splatters. So Super Splatters, if you are a PC focus or maybe even PC only gamer, may have come out of nowhere for you when it came out on Steam last week. But for those of you who follow Xbox Live Arcade religiously, or have for at least a little while, you're probably familiar with the game Splatters, which came out last spring. Actually, might have been last summer, and it's from Spiky Snail Games, and it is kind of a arcade-style puzzle game. It's got elements of Peggle, but it's kind of its own thing. It's a very kind of original idea. Now, I liked the Splatters a lot when it came out for Xbox Live Arcade, but it was kind of underappreciated, maybe a little bit underknown or underexposed for the quality and kind of originality of it. Whereas, you know, things like Deadliest Warrior sell like 1 million copies. Super Splatters, I think, toiled around in obscurity for a little while. But that, hopefully, is set to change at least a little bit, because Super Splatters is available on Steam. This is $10, and I'm going to show you why I think this is a pretty sweet puzzle game. So I'm going to play this. And we're still very early on in things. I did play probably 2, maybe 3 hours of the Xbox Live Arcade version. So when I went into the PC version, I was basically just like, yep, that's pretty much how it goes. So why don't we start with a fairly easy level here. We'll start on this freestyle level, even though I've already done it, and you can hopefully get a feel for what's going on. So, you know, I think I mentioned this before, but there are some kind of Peggle-y elements here, and what I mean by that is that, you know, we're going to be taking control of these splatters, which are these kind of amorphous blobs here, and we're going to be shooting ourselves around these static arenas, and our main goal is to basically explode ourselves. We're full of this, like, combustible goo, which, you know, ask your mother about that if you don't know what that is, but as we explode, the combustible goo will fall onto these, like, orbs that you can see beneath us, these kind of, like, spiky balls. Another thing maybe to ask your mother about. And when it does, if it drenches the balls in your goo, then they explode, and if you explode all the balls, then you win. Much like real life. So, basically, let's just get the basic premise going here. I'm using the Xbox 360 controller. Basically, you hit the A button to go in a direction, and the analog stick to choose which direction to go in. So we're going to send our dude up here. And then we're gonna flip, which is basically a mechanic that allows you to reverse the momentum of the way things are going. I don't understand. My guy is still alive. Sometimes this does happen. Let's do this and then reverse it. And I actually thought I'd be able to grab this thing and take it with me. I guess my guy didn't explode, so I can kind of just keep him alive here, which is a little strange. So we'll just try to kill ourselves on the spike. This will allow our goo to fall down and drench all these people. So, hopefully that gives you kind of a feel for what's going on. The other thing you need to know is that there are stunts. So, the 3 stunts I know so far are the airstrike, the slide, and the rainy day, and I'll explain these. So, the slide is basically what you just saw. If you manage to go around like an entire loop like that, you get the slide, and then the airstrike is just like changing your direction mid-air, again using the A button. And then the rainy day is to like blow yourself up on these spikes up here, and then rain down the goo upon the people below. So hopefully you understand what's going on there. This is going to be kind of an interesting run here. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to succeed. That one, oh good, it did explode that one. So it should be possible for me to get these. Maybe even on this one right here. Okay, we gotta do one more half-decent one, so this calls for an airstrike, I think. Again, in case you've forgotten, our overarching goal... Oh no, come back! Our overarching goal is just to explode all of these spiky balls that we come across using those techniques that we have. So the other thing that, you know, as I mentioned but didn't really lampshade that well, was the flip. So what you want to do with the flip is flip constantly in order to... kind of keep your, you know, if you flip all the time like this, you can kind of keep all your goo in a concentrated area, which is really good if you want it to fall down on one specific place. But that was a really bad kind of start that I had there. So let's try something different. It's, you got that element of kind of like unpredictability to a certain extent, I find. And also replayability, because it's very quick, you know, you just hit the back button here and start over again. So I don't think that was this was my best idea here. Here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to come down, and then I'm going to go upwards and just try to explode off the top here. And this might do a lot of damage to this checkerboard pretzel style of goo that we have here. So again, I'm just flipping back and forth to give myself a pretty good opportunity to hopefully get all this goo. And I still don't want to flip around on that slide yet, because my main priority is just knocking these goos down, basically. I am not going to get anything from this, unfortunately, except maybe that I didn't even get that last spark there, I believe they're called. So let's try this again. We're basically just going to do exactly what we did on the very first run. Only this time I think I botched it. Now there is a score mechanic. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, or sorry, a 1, 2, 3 star mechanic as opposed to like a 5-star mechanic. We're definitely going to be able to succeed on this run. The only question is whether we're going to be able to succeed and get a higher score than I had before. So, you know, the more stunts you do, the better your star total will be, or your star ranking at the end. The more splatters that are left alive at the end of every round, like if you manage not to use one of your splatters, then you'll get way more points. And this can contribute to getting a high score, and it's kind of like a, you know, N64 platformer style structure for the game, where you earn stars, and those stars are used to unlock later and later levels, and eventually, you know, higher and higher tiers of difficulty. We're still very much in the early game here, so all of the stuff that I'm doing is basically just like baby's first game of splatters, and I don't mean that in a derisive way necessarily. If I do, I guess I just mean it to myself. Basically things get more and more tricky as time goes on. But this is definitely, compared to the Xbox port, or the Xbox version, I guess, since it was the original, this is definitely a faithful port. I don't really know what the specific differences are between, at least the comprehensive specific differences between the Super Splatters on PC and the Splatters on Xbox Live Arcade. But what I will say is there's some cool integration that is maybe not only possible on the PC, but largely only implemented on PC versions of games. Like, for example, there is a Splatter TV, which basically is replay systems so that you can see how other people solve potentially difficult levels, because there are levels, at least, you know, for me, as someone who is, generally speaking, pretty bad at games like this, there is a replay system that can help you figure out how people solved some difficult levels. Particularly someone who's good at the game, like Cry, for example. Since I have him on my Steam friends list, I can just go into his profile, basically look at how he did the levels, and totally copy it wholesale. So let's try to beat this level here, and maybe we'll show that in a second. I had a lot of trouble with this level, actually, when I was doing it off camera. This was one of the last levels I did, I think. So that, I really thought that slide would work, but it didn't at all. That one did, and then we're gonna explode over here and do basically nothing. So that was pretty poor of me. I think what I might want to do is just come down and then immediately go upwards. And I took some of these blobs with me. I will admit that, you know, for most of my time with the Splatters, one of the reasons I say that is that Peggle element is, you know, not merely because it's like a physics-based puzzler to a certain extent, not in the same form as like a Swapper or, you know, Vessel or something like that, but, you know, in the same form as Peggle. But the other reason is because half the time I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a lot of fun doing it, which is, you know, probably the headiest praise I could lump on this game. So let's try to actually do something good here. I'm gonna try to, like, shoot through this gap. And just by flipping back and forth, I might be able to maybe be a little bit more constructive than I am on most of my early runs here. But this is actually, for me at least, a fairly difficult section of the gameplay. So I wonder if we can do this, and then I thought we could like flip backwards and maybe make this happen. If we just flip back and forth, eventually our dude should become goo, and then it should put us in a position where, hopefully, please turn into splatter goo. Turn into splatter. You're so close! Maybe it's because I can shoot again. Okay, there we go. Again, sometimes the mechanics, a little bit fuzzy to me. We'll do an airstrike, and then we should explode, maybe. Oh, God, what have I done? I don't want to accidentally explode the other splatter. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. Can we... Oh, now... Oh, my God, I accidentally got, like, 5 different splatters involved in this. But I have draped my goo over top of them. Maybe with this airstrike, we can put ourselves... What have I done? I'm not even flipping anymore, but I just did maybe the best move I've ever done in my entire lifetime playing the Splatters. That being said, I still am pretty confident that we're not going to be able to defeat this level. You know, as you can see, there are still 3 remaining. So let's just actually quit out of this level. This is Splatter TV, which is what I talked about before, where there is a replay system that can help you do better at the game if you suck at it, which I often do. Believe it or not, I actually do rank fairly highly on some of these. I think that's partly because there's just not that many people involved in the game yet. I wonder if this is official Nerd Cubes, but anyway. There's not that many people playing the game right now, which is unfortunate because I think this is a totally unique game that more and more people would be into. Everyone I've talked to has said that they like the game. It's just, you know, kind of a matter of getting them to try it out so that they can feel it for themselves. So I sucked on that one, but you know, I am ranked 2nd on my friends list in 210 overall. Why don't we go to a new arena and we'll check out some this freestyle area, and maybe I'll have a better chance to succeed there. So sometimes there's dialogue. I fast forward through it because I think the dialogue is honestly pretty not great most of the time and a little annoying, but that's okay because the gameplay is fine. I have botched this miserably. Come down here, and then I should be able to keep going and maybe drench these guys in my goo. No, it appears not. So there is an element of trial and error here. As much as strategy is involved, and I would never say that strategy is not involved in this game just because I don't know how to use it. That might actually beat the level for us there, or beat the first stage. But yeah, there's an element of like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Oh, that didn't work, and here's like demonstrably why. And then, you know, go onwards and upwards from there. So I appreciate that in a puzzle game, rather than being like totally confused all the time about what's going on. Again, sometimes I accidentally get multiple splatters kind of combined into one mega splattered monster that is absolutely horrific. But did get us a lot of kills there. Not really kills, it's probably not the best way to put it. What can I say? I am a 21st century gamer. Let us try to get these ones down here at the bottom. And if we can, then we're not going to be able to get the ones all the way away, though, are we? No. With only 2 left, this is what I worry about, because I'm pretty sure we can, like, knock this down. Oh, man, that did cause me to splat, unfortunately. Actually, this is pretty good now. We might be able to get all of those, and then all we have to do after that is get these 3 down here at the bottom. So this could be, like, a miraculous turnaround. If we drench all those, okay, I'm kind of surprised that we managed to make that work, but it works regardless. So let's see if we can make this happen. Now, the way that your score is kind of quantified is by those views that you see up there in the top right. So, you know, it's kind of like YouTube, I suppose. Now, they're probably substantially over what this video is going to get. But, you know, I can't compare with, you know, multicolored neon splatters, kind of vaguely turd-shaped, I would say, blowing one another up. Now, do these splatters actually, they seem like they're alive here. Do they actually die when they splat? Because they do explode in a pretty miraculous fashion. I just hope I'm not supporting, you know, some kind of terrorist empire or something like that. So we have glorified the Caliph by getting 3 stars here. We have 4 more splatters left. I think I'm going to be able to grab all of these things and then just explode on this and possibly get like a crazy good splatter if I get really lucky. Well, that was like 23 that we exploded there. That's pretty good. Let's do exactly that same thing again, shall we? So we should slide down here and explode again. And there's another stunt that I did there, but I don't know what it is. I guess maybe you get a stunt for like a snipe shot, which might just be like not using an airstrike. Now here's my next part that I think is going to be interesting. Oh, I was really hoping that I wouldn't fuck that up as badly as I did. I was going to try to use an airstrike on the bottom, basically, to shoot myself over to the top spike, but no, this is not going to go well, I think. We're going to have to restart here. I got pretty close, but let's try it again. So, you know, if you wanted to, you can start from different splatters just by using the B button. You can kind of rotate yourself around. So let's ignore this thing for now, and instead we'll shoot ourselves up like this, and we'll take care of that, you know, downvote arrow there in a second, which hopefully is not going to be predictive of the nature of this run. It always seems like the first stunt is like, yeah, that's not so bad, and the second stunt is like, okay, that's a little bit more difficult, and then the third stunt is like, oh, this is borderline impossible for me. Hopefully this gets all of these. It's looking pretty good. We did get an achievement there for clever shot, apparently, but could have beat me, or could have surprised me on that one. So let's tap to jump, and then we're just gonna, oh, can we do it again? I think it almost has like an action point mechanic, honestly. So if you do like a hold to jump, it gives you more power, but it also means that you're not going to be able to use like an airstrike or something afterwards. Whereas with a tap to jump, you save some action power, so you can kind of like reposition your splatters, I guess, like so. And we do have one more airstrike remaining here. That's actually an important tactic to learn. I'm glad I, you know, waited until I had the scrutiny of a few thousand people in order to do it. So we only have one remaining. Let's tap to jump, and then tap to put ourselves on this slide. And this has gotta do it, right? Like, we basically surrounded it in this goo. Alright, fantastic, that's outstanding. Let's do some more levels. So there are, well, I guess I'll wait for the leaderboards to come in here, just in case that was a good run. I'm gonna guess that both Cry and Biztap are ahead of me. They have both been kicking my ass so far in the leaderboards. There's like 1 level out of 30 or something I'm beating them on. And it is not this one. In fact, I'm ranked 436. Maybe this game has sold more copies than I originally anticipated, which is awesome. I think this game deserves a lot more credit than it originally got when it came out on Xbox Live Arcade last year. So let's go... Oh, we actually did unlock this area. I wonder if there's a new tutorial there. There is. Second shot training. I think that might be what I just learned independently. But there's a few different kinds of levels, and you know when you play like through a puzzle game, oftentimes there's like campaign or challenge levels, and then there will be like there will be like campaign levels or normal levels, vanilla levels if you will, and then there will be like a challenge level, which is like, it's got special circumstances. That's actually what we have here. We have Freestyle, which is what I just played. You can do things however you want, and then there's Master Shots, and Master Shots is basically like, let me find a good one here. Why not this one right here? Master Shots is basically like you have to accomplish something in a certain way. And they'll tell you the way that you have to do it. So you can see that some of these stages are the same. These static stages, like this is the sneaker stage, I think, are basically representative of the world. So on this stage, we have to do an airstrike, which is when you jump in the air, and 2 slides. So this should be pretty easy. You first get started here, you just tap to jump, then you do an airstrike, and then you should get both slides. The way you basically get the slides is just by ensuring that you go around like the entirety of the curve. So our first shot went really easy. Or went really well, I should say. On this one, we just need an airstrike and a slide, which I think is going to be accomplished by this. So I'm going to tap. I'm going to get on the apex of the curve here. Then I'm going to turn around, and I think just by using the flip here, I should be able to get all of these in one shot. That went well. And the last one, oh, this one is super difficult. So all we need for this one is a slide. But I forget how we do it. I almost think we want to go like, we want to jump onto the curve, and then it'll kind of suck us around, and then we'll hit it, and then we'll come back, and then we'll come back again, and we'll try to get exceptionally lucky here with our result. I don't know, if I just flip around a couple more times, I might be able to make it happen. I still have another shot, which is kind of remarkable to me. Let's airstrike upwards, and maybe, oh, now we've exploded, I think. We could get this, to be honest with you. Oh, flip backwards, you fool! There's like, 3 left. That was kind of close. Let's try this again. I have to admit, I'm not very good with these master shots at all. Like, you're probably noticing, but I'm pretty bad at these by and large. So that's why I prefer to go with the freestyle most of the time. Wonder if I can get this to just come back. Oh, that's real nice! Oh, thank God. I'm not sure if that's from Peggle, I can't remember, because I played Peggle so many years ago, but that, like, anticipation at the end where you're like, oh, come on, come on. I think that was definitely better than I did the last time I did this. Hopefully I rank a little bit higher. Well, I beat Biznap at least. Oh, actually, I tied him. What can I say? Even if, you know, the best I try, still can't manage to beat that technically and analytically strong man. So, we're on a new stage here. Let's go through the tutorial. This will give you a feel for the dialogue. It's not great. Boss, where are we? The hippo stage, the perfect place to learn a new move. Nice, with 4 exclamation points. Blue, purplish, get ready for the second shot. Okay. What is the second shot? You mean I can now shoot more than once? Exactly, think of it as a second chance thing, but also as a way to make some amazing shots. See that nasty split below? I guess that would be the fact that there is like 2 groups of those spiky balls that need to explode. How are we gonna do that? So check this out. Start by slamming to the right. Okay, mission accomplished. Don't tap in this training. Hold the button down. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. And what happens next? Now check out that new arrow I gave you. Point with it to the left and tap. Okay, done. They gave me some... They aided and abetted me on the physics training there. There's no question. So we do have a double shot now. Interesting to note. That was great, boss. Just remember to aim carefully before you shoot again. You have enough time. Alright, gotcha. Aim carefully, then shoot. And now we learn how to shower your pods. That was kind of gross. And they are going to lampshade this if I had to guess. Shower my pods! Travel by bones. Yep, shower your pods. Can I... when you shoot up with the blue arrow, the liquid comes showering down, covering a larger area. You know, showering your pods. Sometimes dialogue can be a little exhaustive. I kind of wish it wasn't, but there's not that many tutorials in the game. So it doesn't really matter all that much. It's only, I guess, here in the early game where it's important. So as soon as you hit the wall, aim up at the spark and shoot again. Okay, I can do that. As soon as you hit the wall, aim up at the spark and shoot again. Hold the button down for this one. Okay, that's my bad. As soon as you hit the wall, aim up at the spark and shoot again. It kind of worked. And then a blue arrow appeared. Did I win? I feel like I kind of botched that miserably, but it ended up working out well for us. So why don't we do one more level here? Again, this is another kind of a strong facets of the splatters. Oh, I've leveled up in popularity here. That's just like our overall kind of like in-game level. Another strong facet of the splatters here is that it does have a very addictive nature, especially if you get frustrated and you start like losing levels over and over again. It's really easy to just be like, okay, one more play, because each level only takes like, you know, maybe, or each attempt only takes like 15 seconds. If you're quick about it anyway, which is probably my #1 mistake. I'm just here to remind you to start using lots of airstrikes and flips. Training is over. Fantastic. Okay. So, only green goo can explode green pods, and only red goo can explode red pods, as one might expect. I'm just trying to think about how I want to do this. Why don't we come down here, and we'll go on the slide. So, like so. That should push these pods. It did not push these pods. This will explode me, and will destroy the rest of these pods. Yes, I'm going to turn into goo. This goo is going to explode all of these things, and then we'll shoot again. I've tried to shoot again to put ourselves in a different area. And then let's try to knock all of these down, basically, is what I'm thinking. So you have to destroy, like, the pods that keep it attached to the ceiling. And then, I wonder if I can drench another several here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, you destroy the pods that attach it to the ceiling, and then they'll fall down. That should be pretty obvious, though, in all likelihood. We get a second shot after we slam into a wall. Is that how it works? Yes, okay, so I'm just going to put myself over here around these red pods. Should be easy enough for me to kill all those. Now, we only have green ones left. Remember, though, that the first area, or the first level, is almost always the easiest. So, it's possible that even though it looks really easy right now, it's going to be much more difficult as we move along. Oh, second shot down here. Is this going to be good enough to get all of them? I don't think so. Oh, but then physics took a couple of them back, which is really nice, actually. Let's try this again. We're going to slam into the ground, and then flip backwards, and that should be enough to help us do this. Okay, and we still have like 3 guys remaining, which is going to give us a ton of extra points. Maybe we have a chance to conquer the almighty Bit Snap and Cry. I hate these ones because the fact that they're tied in so many places is probably going to make this pretty difficult. So let's try this like so. Maybe we can get lucky and get like a slide here. Oh, that actually worked really well. I'm kind of amazed, honestly. Then we'll use our second shot and kind of botch it miserably is how that appeared to be to me. But if I'll get you guys stuck down there, that's fine. What about these guys? We're going to try like basically exactly the same mechanic that we just did. Get all these goo. It sounded like it was going to be offensive, but it was unintentional, I assure you. So let's get our second shot going here. We might be able to get a decent number. Not all of them, but the majority of them, I think. Yeah, we had like 6 or 7 explode there at the very end. I don't know what we're going to do about this kind of combination of pods that we have right here. So let's slide. Oh, that's going to cause us to explode. Yeah, I don't like that. But our second shot actually puts us in a really good location. And we got some kind of cumulative achievement. So we'll just keep dipping people into the goo here. And they're not all gonna die, unfortunately. That's okay. Now we should be able to pretty easily kill all these ones at the bottom, or explode all these ones at the bottom, just by basically doing exactly what I did right there. That was the closest thing to a textbook great shot that I think I've had in my entire Splatters career so far. So morph these guys backwards and then forwards. And oh my god, what have I done? Is it gonna work? I think it might actually work. Alright, that went pretty well. And we will now have our final round, in which I will probably lose many times if I had to guess. Good lord, that is a lot of nonsense going on here. Alright, let's airstrike upwards. Oh, I turned into goo when I didn't mean to, but our second shot could provide me with some salvation here. Little salvation, but we did get something. Let's continue going with our green dudes, actually. Because I'm thinking if we just, like, splash into this wall... Oh, I don't know if I like that. Half of my goo got, like, hit on the spike at the end there. Okay, let's try this from the start again. So I think the first shot was fine. Probably could have been better. Yeah, because I did exactly the same thing this time that I did last time, unfortunately. That actually looks like it went a little bit better. Okay. I guess I could probably tell just by the views, but... then from here, I'm going to do, like, one of these, and we're going to splash really high into this... and then, oh, that is going to give us 3 stars, supposedly. I didn't think it was that good, but thank you very much, game, for the vote of confidence. That's going to be huge for us. There is still 1 pod down here. That's going to be a real thorn in our side. I'm thinking we just do one of these, and then splash over into this side. Oh, I botched it. But I have a second shot. Okay, maybe I can JFK my way into keeping these guys. Oh, we have 2 more red ones to kill across the map from one another with only 1 more green guy. So let's just start by taking out these red ones, simplifying the situation a little bit. So we're just going to keep flipping here. As long as these guys are primed to explode, they're always going to explode. So what if we have like the world's greatest second shot here? So we explode, and then we turn into goo. I'm so far away from where I want to be, but I got both of them. Oh my god. That was unexpected. I don't even know what I can do here. So somehow that ended up being amazing. And in fact, if they were all the same color, I think I might have gotten all of them there, actually, which is very surprising for me. So we'll slam into the ground here, and then we'll have a second shot afterwards, which we can use to kind of put ourselves in the direction of... Oh, well, I botched it a little bit, but there's only 2 left, so we should be okay. I've been wrong before. We'll splatter into goo. Some of this goo will fall down, and that should do it. Okay. That turned out to be a surprisingly good level, actually. I don't think my final round was that outstanding, as the game seems to think it is. But overall, it was pretty good. And again, we will check our leaderboards here and see how we've done in mere moments. The leaderboards are actually really strong. They load up really fast most of the time, which is nice. I am a talent, apparently. I am substantially worse. Man, Cry is crazy good at this game. Wonder if he played it on stream one night. But anyway, this is Super Splatters. It's available on Steam. Opening week sale is probably ending by the time this goes up, so it's going to be $10 retail. It's totally worth it. Even if, you know, you're not a fan of traditional puzzle games, if you found yourself enjoying Peggle, and I think most people out there who played it actually did, definitely consider picking this up, and especially keep an eye on it if it goes on sale in a Steam sale. I don't think $10 is cost prohibitive at all for a game like this. Or a game of a quality of this, I should say. But if you're the kind of person that's a little bit more skeptical, wait for a Steam sale. But I find it hard to believe that somebody is going to pick this up and be like, man, I really fucking hate this game. It's just it's a lovable game. There's elements of it I'm not necessarily the fondest of. But overall, I really like Super Splatters, and I'm glad that it is potentially being exposed to a wider audience on the PC. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support you have given me over the course of my YouTube career so far. Didn't mean to get it so mushy at the end there. But again, thanks for watching, and there will be a link in the video description to pick up the game on the Steam store if you are interested. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.